So a year ago today, my husband and I were sitting in the lobby of ICU waiting to be able to go back and see our son after we had the news that, well, if you haven't seen the story, I'll go a little bit into it. So we get a call. It was about 2:42 in the morning, actually. And I can hear her voice on the phone whenever I answer. And she said, "Oh, thank God you answered." Later, I looked at my phone and realized that I had 6 missed calls from her. The phone was sitting right next to my bedside, but I was really tired when I went to sleep. I didn't turn it on ring. It was on silent. And so she had a little bit of a hard time getting in touch with me. And this was the girlfriend then. She tells me that Dom had been SHOT and that he was talking to her or whatever. And she, I think, was sounding more like convincing for herself. But I asked to talk to the police. I didn't know what was going on. Nobody would tell me anything. The police wouldn't even tell me what hospital they were he was being sent to. And then finally, the paramedics said what hospital, and I learned that was 2 hours away. So we were freaking out, what, 2 hours away? But it's funny about trauma. When we entered into that situation, I had been so far from God, more far from God than I'd been in a really long time. I value my relationship with God, and when we moved here where we are in the DFW area, I distanced myself from God. And I did that because we weren't involved in a church, and I was angry with him in a lot of different ways that I've learned now that, was not even his fault, but I was still just angry. And learning to trust the process, the whole thing it's a whole journey. And the crazy thing, and I hear this a lot too from other people, when you are, no matter how far you are from God, when you're going through something really, really hard and you don't know what else to do, the only thing you can do is pray. That's what we did. We prayed and we prayed and we prayed and we prayed. And I spoke the name of Jesus over and over again. He seriously just showed up big time. Not only did he save my son's life. Sorry, I had a mishap. Not only did God save my son's life, but he got us through the heaviest, hardest things in our life. So I have been waiting to share all the ways that God has worked. And today is just a fitting day to do that. But my therapist had said that, trauma, because I told her, she was like, "Do you want to come see me before the 31st? And I said, "No, I think I'll be okay. I don't feel this sense of doom entering into the anniversary." And she said, "Well, trauma has a way of just being trapped in our bodies." And I'm standing here this morning and I can see the sun coming through my window here in the bathroom. And it reminded me just of the brightness of that morning as we sat there, because we got to the hospital in the middle of the night. And the sun came up while we were sitting in the lobby of ICU waiting. And so the sun was coming through super bright through the windows there in the lobby. And it was just so bright. It was like a harsh brightness. This light coming in through my window here is like a harsh brightness. And it made me remember. And I felt that moment of waiting to see my son, if not knowing what he was going to look like, the condition, because we had learned when we got to the hospital that he had been SHOT in the face with a SHOT GUN. And my mind was just thinking the absolute worst. And I was like, there is no way I can step into that hospital room with him and see his face gone. Like, I'm not strong enough to do that. And I said that to so many people over and over again, like, I can't do this. But yet I did. And here I am. It's been a year, and we did the thing. We have, and we are still going through the roller coaster of healing and grief and processing and just all the things. There are things I still can't do a year later, like certain TV shows and movies and stuff like that I will not watch. I just can't. But it has gotten better because when I originally started, I could only watch like comedy stuff. I could not watch anything dramatic at all. And now I can watch some drama. But it's just a journey and it's a process, you know? And I know that this isn't going to make sense when I say it, but in a way, this event that happened, this injury that happened to my son, was pretty much like the best thing that's ever happened to our family. This year, our family has been closer than we've ever been. I have watched my other boys and my daughter just become closer with God, and I've watched them rally with each other. And I know, like, if for some reason something happened to me and I was not in the picture, the four of them would still be close. They love each other. And that just makes my mom heart super happy. But watching so I have 4 kids. And so Serena, she's married, and I don't see her worship as often. Like, I don't see her at church. She's not at church with me. And then TJ is my second son, and he's 21. And that boy has just done so much. He sought God so hard this year. I watch him lift his hands in praise. I watch him go to the altar for prayer. This is my young adult son doing all these things on his own. And I know it's because, I mean, when this horrible thing happened and all we had to rely on was God, and God showed up in such a big way, it really ignited our relationship with him. So it refreshed mine, and it started one for him. And I know that we just all have been like, wow, look what God did. Look what God did. We're so amazed and we're so awestruck that there's just not words. There's not words. And so I feel like today there might be some moments of trauma remembering. My body remembers. My body has it trapped. There'll be some moments of that. There'll be some glimpses, some things where I'll stop and I'll feel it. I'm going to allow myself to just feel it. But at the end of the day, I don't see this as a really bad day. In fact, I'm excited for the new year and to see what's going to come and the next journeys that Dom gets to go on and how much further he's going to grow. It's just, and then my family, how much further we're going to go and grow. There's so much. And I'm okay with that 1-year anniversary, the bad 1-year anniversary not being so bad after all. Happy New Year's, everyone.